All right, APGov, here's your quick review, okay? This week we're talking about the bureaucracy and public policy, okay? So I hope you're following along. I would make sure I was paying attention. I'd watch this over and over and memorize what I'm telling you, because what I'm telling you is going to be exactly on the test. Here we go, okay? Bureaucracy was last week. Remember, I'm combining 2 weeks because there wasn't that much information on it. Okay, there's only 15 slides. All right? So bureaucracy talks about, all right, it's a different agency. Some people call this, the bureaucracy, the fourth branch. Okay, obviously we know there's only 3 branches, the legislative, the executive, and judicial. Some people call the bureaucracy the fourth branch. Okay, so the bureaucracy is responsible for ensuring that the policies and programs enacted by Congress and executive branch departments are carried out. Okay, they're responsible for executing laws, providing defense, and administering social programs. Bureaucrats are the people who work for the bureaucracy. They are not elected. They are not chosen by an election. Okay, there are 15 cabinets appointed, all right, and are approved by the Senate. All right. Okay, so our largest bureaucracy is the Department of Defense. Okay, our largest department is the Department of Defense. I'm pretty sure I'm going to put that on the test because it's big. All right. The highest of each department is the secretary of each department. Okay, but our Department of Defense is our largest bureaucratic group. Okay, government corporations. Okay, a cross between private business and government agencies. Amtrak. I promise you, I'm going to ask you about Amtrak. Okay, I promise. Amtrak was created to provide railroad passenger service. Just think about like when you go to big cities, New York City. Amtrak is the subway system below the ground. Okay, they're never going to make enough money to support Amtrak. Okay, it's pretty cheap to ride on this thing. Okay, so every year Amtrak must ask Congress for subsidies. Okay, also known as money to keep alive and not go bankrupt. Amtrak will never have enough money. They can't make enough to provide for how much it costs to make that system run. So it's such important for large cities, they have to have it. So Congress always fills that in. Know what Amtrak is? 100% test question. Boom. Okay? So, regulatory agencies. If not in the 15, remember you got 15 cabinets. Sometimes we got independent agencies. All right, and sometimes we got regulatory agencies. Okay? Regulatory, obviously, somebody's regulating it. Somebody's watching it. Okay? So, there's a couple controversial bureaucracies. I mean, there's a bunch of bureaucracies, okay? Okay, you got your environmental agency, all right? The mission was environmental laws passed by Congress. 1970, Clean Air Act, reduce automobile pollution. Know what that is. It's called the Clean Air Act. All right? Highlight it. Know it. Who runs these government agencies or regulatory agencies, okay? Somebody called the Board of Commissioners. Okay, we know what the Fed is. The Federal Reserve. Our Federal Reserve does 3 things. Okay, they regulate banks. They regulate how much money is going to be in a bank. Okay, they regulate interest rates. And they regulate the value and supply of money. Okay, we also talked about bonds. They regulate interest bonds. All right, so know what the Federal Reserve does. Just think about Federal Reserve is our big bank. Okay, there is the big bank. Then you got 12 regional banks. Okay, there are 12 regional Federal Reserve banks. Know that. Put a 12 beside that. If you're watching this, hopefully you're paying attention. All right. So, who controls the bureaucracy? This is a very important question. Okay, the presidents appoint the bureaucracies. The Senate approves it. But the president can use budget to influence different agencies. Congress can abolish an agency. All right. Congress has the final say in how much money the bureaucracy or your bureaucratic group can get. So say I got 2 groups right here. Okay. 2 groups. Remember we got Congress, which is the House and Senate. All right. They control how much money each group is going to get. So say Congress really hates this group right here and really likes this group right here. All right. Are they going to give them equal amount of money? No. If Congress decides they don't like a group, what's the best way to let that group go or that agency go? Well, if I'm not sending them any money, I'm not funding them any money, see ya. they ain't got no money, how they going to survive? So Congress has the final say in how much money these government agencies will receive. All right? So they can shut it down quick. So just think about, for example, Amtrak. So say Congress decided, hey, I'm tired of Amtrak. Let's quit funding them. Quit sending them money. Well, what's going to happen to Amtrak? It's going to decease. Okay, that agency is no longer going to survive. Okay, so no, Congress has the final say in how much money the agencies will receive. All right. Know what an iron triangle is. Here's a great video. Go through it. Know what it is. Make sure you know what the three parts to the iron triangle are. Okay. Usually you got Congress, you got some sort of bureaucracy, and then you got an interest group. Go through this. I'm looking right at it. 100% test question. I'm going to ask you the three parts to the iron triangle. Know what those three are. There's your video. Go through it. Watch it. Know it. That's why I put these videos up there. It's not for my amusement. It's for you to learn the information. Okay? Civil service and maintain neutrality. All right? Make sure you know what the Pendleton Act is. It's a law that ended the spool system. The spool system, all right, years ago, government jobs were just handed out, all right, in support for exchange for the people's support. So say one of my best friends, all right, hey, here's the job. It's pretty high up. Get the job. You support me. There you go. You're giving away jobs for their support. That's going to end the spools system. I would know that. Hint, hint. Test question. I'm looking right at it. Know what the Pendleton Act is, and know it ended the spool system. That's handing out jobs. Okay? Moving on. Make sure you go through these videos. They are important. Okay? That's the bureaucracy. Next, we got public policy. Alright? Social policy. Go through it. It's in my handouts video too. Know it. Foreign policy. Know it. Public policy. Okay? Public policy just deals with, think about it, the public. Okay? Crime rates, drug rates, terrorism, roads. Alright? Know this. Public policy, think about problems in our day-to-day lives. Alright? Here are the 5 steps. I'm not going through them because I don't have much time. I can only do like a 15-minute max video. Alright? Economic policy deals with money. Remember, economic is the biggest. Know what inflation, deflation means. Know it. Okay? Mixed economies versus laissez-faire. Keynesian economics. FDR. Know FDR. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He creates the New Deal. Alright, that is big. FDR's New Deal was based off of, alright, holds that government can smooth out businesses. Alright, talks about spending goods and services. Know what FDR is. It's in your packet. I went over it detailed. Okay? FDR creates the New Deal. Know it. Okay, talked about fiscal and monetary policy. Alright, one of them deal, remember we talked about raising taxes, lowering taxes. Okay, go through it. Okay, these videos are good. That's why I put them up there. You got to learn them. Alright, remember fiscal deals with lowering or raising taxes. Highlight it, know it, test question. Alright, deficit. Remember, deficit spending. Okay, imports are a lot higher than exports. That's a trade deficit. Alright, here we're talking about the Fed, the Federal Reserve influences, monetary policy. Go through it. Okay, like I said, trade deficit. Here we go. NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement. It's controversial. Remember, people are worried that jobs will be sent to overseas. Alright, go through this. Learn it. Know it. I mean, I'm giving y'all word for word what's on the test. And word for word what's on the AP final. Okay? Domestic policy talks about, alright, assistant programs. Social Security. Remember, Social Security we pay into this pot. When we get 65, we can draw out of. Remember, we get taxes. Alright? If you meet the requirements, you can apply and get Social Security. Every check you'll get throughout your life, they're going to pull out Social Security. Medicare versus Medicaid. Remember, Medicare, you care for the older, 65. Magic number for care. Medicaid, you aid the people that can't take care of themselves. Disabilities. These are big. Know them. Okay, social welfare. This is talking about like food stamps the government provides. All right, for people that can't support themselves. All right, Welfare Reform Act, go through that. Health care. GDP means gross domestic product, total amount of goods and services produced in a year. Okay, the most expensive health care system in the world, United States. I went wrong in my life because I should be selling some sort of health care because then I'd be a multi-millionaire instead of teaching you fine people. Okay, so know what health care is. All right, the United States is the most expensive. Okay, then we talked about Obamacare. He talks about the Affordable Care Act. All people must have health care. Go through that. And last thing, all right, civil liberties and public policy. Okay, a couple quick things I'm going to go over that I've not put on the PowerPoint. Make sure you know we talked about the different departments, the 15 different departments. Talked about Social Security, the fourth branch. All right, talked about the Federal Reserve. Here's a word I have not gone over: devolution. Devolution. Okay, it's a key word in this section. Okay, so when Congress knocks down a federal bureaucracy from the federal government to the state government. Remember what I was talking about? If Congress didn't like the agency, they could just say, hey, I'm not going to give you money. All right, when they knock that agency down, it's called devolution. Devolution. Know it. I'm looking right at it. It's a test question. Okay. So, Congress has a lot to do with these bureaucratic agencies. All right. Congress, remember, they get to decide where they want the money go. All right. But the president can often say, hey, I want to allocate this money toward this program. Congress, work with me. Well, what's the problem? Well, if we'll say the president is Republican and most of Congress is Democrat, are they going to listen to what the president says to try to help his Republican agency out? No. It's called the power of the purse. Write it down. It's a word. 3 of them. Power of, 4 of them, my fault. Power of the purse. Okay? Whoever has the money gets to control where the money goes. Well, Congress has the money. The president can ask. But remember, Congress gets to decide where the money goes. Power of the purse. I'm looking right at it. Okay? So, good luck on your test. But real quick, all right, you're going to have a written response. I'm probably going to use this question right here. So, if you're halfway smart, you might want to pause this video, look up this information, and write it on your test. What you think? You'd be pretty smart if you did that, right? Okay? Here is your free response question. Good luck. Go over it. Talks about power of the purse, rulemaking, bureaucratic discretion. All right, we got to work on our writing because we are struggling.